I am a 71-year-old retired veteran, and a few months ago, my VA check went up. Not by a little. It went up by over $1,400 a month. And the part that keeps me up at night is not the money. It is the fact that I could have had it years ago. My name is Frank. I am a retired veteran. And today I am going to walk you through exactly what changed. Because I believe the same thing is happening to thousands of veterans right now who have no idea they are being underpaid. Before I keep going, I put together a guide called the Veterans Money Guide. Plain English covering every benefit the VA never volunteers, the exact forms, the deadlines, and the steps to claim what you are owed. Link is in the description. If one page puts money back in your pocket, it paid for itself. Now let me get back to it. Let me start with the part that everyone already heard about. At the end of 2025, the government announced a 2.8% cost of living adjustment. Every veteran with a disability rating of 10% or higher got a bump. If you are rated at 100% with no dependents, your check went from about $3,700 a month to about $3,800. That is roughly an extra $107 a month. The VA did it automatically. You did not have to file anything, call anyone, or lift a finger. It just showed up in your January deposit. And if that was the only thing that changed for you this year, fine. An extra $100 a month is not nothing. Over a decade, it adds up to almost $13,000. But here's the truth. That small automatic bump is not what really moved my check. What really moved it was something the VA will never do for you automatically. Something I had to learn, fight for, and claim on my own. For years, I was rated at 70%. Knee problems from my service, hearing loss, a back injury that never healed right. I accepted that 70% as the final word. I thought the VA had looked at everything, weighed it all, and decided that 70 was what my body was worth. I did not question it. I just took the check and moved on. That was my mistake. What nobody explained to me is that the conditions I already had on file were causing other problems in my body that could be rated separately. The VA calls these secondary conditions. A secondary condition is a health problem caused by or made worse by a condition the VA already recognizes as service-connected. It is not a new injury from your service. It is a consequence of an old one, and it can be filed as its own claim, rated on its own, and added to your overall disability percentage. Let me give you my example because this is where it gets real. My back injury was rated and had been for years. But over time, that back injury led to nerve damage running down my left leg, radiating pain, numbness, weakness in my foot. I had been living with it so long I thought it was just part of the original problem. It was not. That nerve damage is a separate diagnosable condition called radiculopathy, and it can carry its own rating of up to 60% depending on severity. I never filed for it because I never knew I could. On top of that, the chronic pain from my back and my knee had been grinding me down mentally for years. I was not sleeping. I was irritable. I had stopped doing things I used to enjoy. My wife noticed it before I did. That was depression, and it was directly connected to the pain from my service-connected conditions. It is one of the most common secondary conditions the VA recognizes, and I had never once mentioned it on a form. There was one more. My pain medications, the ones the VA prescribed for my back and knee, had caused a problem I was too embarrassed to talk about. The same problem I know a lot of men watching this have and will not mention. Erectile dysfunction. It is rated at 0% on the schedule, but it qualifies for an additional monthly payment called SMCK, which in 2026 is $139 added to your check every month. That money had been sitting there the entire time. I never claimed it because I did not want to say it out loud. When I finally sat down with a veteran service officer at my county office, a free appointment that cost me nothing, he looked at my file and within 20 minutes identified 3 secondary conditions I had never filed for. 3. He did not seem surprised. He told me this is what he sees every single day. Veterans come in with a rating they accepted years ago, and buried in their medical history are conditions the VA should be paying them for that nobody ever pointed out. I filed supplemental claims for all 3. I needed a nexus letter from a doctor for each one, which is a medical opinion stating that the secondary condition was at least as likely as not caused by the primary service connected condition. My own VA doctors provided 2 of them. For the third, I went to a private specialist. Within a few months, my combined rating went from 70% to 90%. My monthly check jumped from about $1,800 to about $2,300. Then the cost of living adjustment stacked on top of that. The 2 changes together added over $1,400 a month to my income. That is nearly $17,000 a year in completely tax-free money that I had been walking past for years. And I need to be honest with you about something. The hardest part was not the paperwork. It was not the wait. It was admitting that my body had gotten worse than I wanted to believe. It was telling someone about the nerve damage I had been brushing off. It was admitting the depression I had been hiding from everyone, including myself. It was saying the words about what those medications did to me. Pride is expensive. My pride cost me years of payments I will never recover. So let me ask you something. How long have you been sitting at the same rating? Has anything gotten worse since the VA last looked at your file? Are you dealing with problems you never connected to your service? Problems in your sleep, your mood, your nerves, your body. That started after your primary condition or after the medications they gave you for it. Because if the answer is yes, there is a very real chance your check should be higher than it is right now. The VA is not going to call you and suggest you refile. They are not going to review your medical records and notice that your back injury is now causing nerve damage or that your pain is causing depression. They rate what you claim. If you do not claim it, it does not exist in their system, and your check stays exactly where it is while the money you are owed just sits there. Here's what you do. Go to your county veteran service office or contact a veteran service organization like the DAV, the VFW, or the American Legion. Ask to sit down with an accredited veteran service officer. It is completely free. Bring your current rating decision letter and a list of every health problem you are dealing with, even the ones you think are just aging, even the ones you are embarrassed about. Let them connect the dots. That is literally what they are trained to do. Do not pay anyone a percentage of your benefits to do this. The best help available is free. My check went up because 2 things happened at the same time. The government gave every veteran a small cost of living raise. And I finally stopped accepting a rating I had outgrown years ago. The first one was automatic. The second one required me to swallow my pride and ask for help. The second one was worth 15 times more than the first. If you are watching this and you have not had your file reviewed in years, you are probably leaving money on the table right now. Not because you are doing anything wrong, because this system is designed to pay you what you claim and nothing more. The question is whether you are going to keep accepting a number someone gave you years ago, or whether you are going to find out what your body is actually worth today. Share this with a veteran who has been sitting at the same rating for too long. He needs to hear it from someone who waited too long and made the same mistake.